Hello ladies and gentlemen, Sigval Grim here, and today we are going to talk about boss Lord Joker and what you should do in order to defeat him. First of all, let's look at his passive. I don't care about deadly, I don't care about you having lethal, I don't care about overkill. They might damage my tagged out opponents, but that is not going to be a huge factor in this fight. What I do care about is the contamination, which will do a set of hazards. This set of hazards will be exactly the same. We'll have different colors and something, but it will be exactly the same as the one that was on boss Green Lantern, and it will be exactly the same as the one that is going to be in phase 3. So we are going to have a lot of hazards, but on the very right corner of the map we are going to have a hazard that will deal damage, and on the very left corner of the map we have a hazard that is going to power drain. And at this point you might be like, well, then use the exact same strategy that I told you to use for Emerald Green Lantern. Well, that's an option. That's an option, and we'll talk about that too. But over here we are able to do a different strategy which might prove more effective in terms of damage. Before we get into it, make sure that if you find this video helpful, you give it a like, dislike it if you dislike it, comment down below for any questions that you might have, maybe subscribe for more content like this, maybe hit that bell button. So the strategy is the following. First of all, let's quickly go over the other strategy. The other strategy that we used in order to defeat boss Green Lantern was to use Jon Stewart Green Lantern and use him as a support character for our team because he has the reinforced contracts passive, which makes you immune to hazard secondary effects. And the hazard in the very left corner of the map had only the effect of power draining, but in this one we can also use that. You can put Green Lantern in a team with the Shazam and Kingland Aquaman, or with Shazam and Dr. Fate and Power Girl, and just stay in the left corner and do your best to do both of your special trees. While this will not be the most optimal gameplay, it will be the safest gameplay. But over here we do have another option that was not present in the fight before, because with boss Green Lantern he was very annoying in terms of failing your tag-ins. But as I have seen, Lord Joker will not stop you from doing a tagging combo, so you will never or almost never have any problems with tagging in against Lord Joker. So that makes us be able to use somewhat of a better team in this situation, a team that can fight in the very right corner of the map, because while the very left corner of the map, when you are fighting those hazards, is going to be the safest, the right corner of the map is going to be the highest damage potential, because there you are going to be able to chain your combos properly, even though you will constantly take dot damage. And for that we are going to be using Hellboy. Okay, so I did stop the recording midway because my new chair arrived and I took my time to mount it. So, where were we? We were at Hellboy. This strategy is going to involve Hellboy as a tank for your team. He's going to perform well as a tank for your team because of the fact that he's going to have the passive box full of evil, and this is going to, besides granting defense and damage against arcane opponents who don't care about that, he's going to be healed by 85% of the dot damage that would damage him, and the dot damage will not damage him at all. So what does it mean? This means that he is 100% immune to dot damage, and when he receives dot damage he will get healed by the percentage that he would have gotten damaged by. So this will make him an amazing tank, and the strategy is basically to push the Joker all the way to the right corner of the map, and then you keep him in the right corner of the map. Your Hellboy will be the tank of the team. He will be healing a lot from the dots that is on the ground, and you'll just tag in and out, kill 10 Aquaman, do specials, and try to play properly. This is still going to be a decently hard fight, and is going to be much harder if you don't have a properly built Hellboy, the situation that I'm in on this account. So how my Hellboy is looking right now? Not very good. He's going to have some gears at level 50 from raids, 4, and that's a pretty good number, and a level 20 gear that I have made myself before this video. And his total stats are not going to be anything amazing. Mine is going to be just 3 stars, so he won't heal that much and he won't have that much HP. But I have managed to get max defense on him through the gears and a little bit of health, though the health is far from being on the amazing side. He's able to tank a super move, but with a sliver of health left. Maybe I'll work on him a little bit more, but basically the strategy is that you stand in the right corner, you take the dot and you heal instead, and you tank Joker. And if your Hellboy will most likely survive everything that Joker will throw at you except for the super move, and for that you can tank Lance Aquaman in and or the other character that you are going to use in, and let them die instead, and then you start from the middle again and get them all the way to the wall. We'll take a look at the fight, and with this team I have found out that it's more efficient to use Power Girl or Dr. Fate rather than Shazam, because over here you can tag in a lot of times, and that will make you use abilities very often, and you will definitely need that power reduction that Power Girl provides in this specific situation. So I found it more optimal with the setup of King of Lands Aquaman, Power Girl and Hellboy rather than, or Dr. Fate, or rather than King of Atlantis, Shazam and Hellboy. So with all that being said, let's take a look at the fight, and let's take a look at how it went, and let's explain all the things that you need to keep in mind about this. We're going to be taking a look at two fights over here, and we are going to see how it goes. I'm going to be using the Hellboy that I showed to you earlier, and Keltan Aquaman will be level 60 gear, maxed out critical attack damage, critical attack chance, max fast attack, level 8 the All Blades, but he will not have the most optimal talent, so that makes him have a pretty low attack because I put some critical attack chance and damage on gears for now. So he's not optimized, but he's doing pretty well, to be honest. Equipping the All Blades over here, and you will see that as soon as the fight is going to start, I'm going to simply race to getting getting the boss all the way to the right corner of the map. That will mean that I'll get power drained a little bit. I could subtract Dr. Fate for John Stewart Green Lantern to have both the effects of Hellboy and John Stewart Green Lantern, but I simply don't need to do that. That would be just an overkill and will mitigate some of my damage that I would be able to do with Dr. Fate being there. So first up, also keep in mind that even though I have invested a little bit into the Hellboy, he's not going to be tanky. Like, he's very far from being tanky. Over here, chaining combo with Dr. Fate, tying in King of Lands Aquaman, pushing him as far as I can, blocking a little bit because I couldn't finish my combo into an ability because of the power drain, and right now we're in the corner. Remember, this Hellboy is not going to be almost at all tanky, just whatever I could get my hands on with a Fury for the spent. Taking King of Lands Aquaman, finishing the combo, tagging in Hellboy into a combo, backing off and blocking, yet again going in. And over here I did a pretty huge mistake that you will see in just a moment. I tagged in Dr. Fate thinking that he will do a super move, and that's where I screwed up in this one. That is going to cost me basically the damage on this fight. I'm still going to do a pretty reasonable amount of damage, but not as much as I could. But as you can see, Hellboy is going to take the super move. He survived. I was amazed that he survived. And right now I'm trying to get him all the way in the corner of the map for Hellboy to be able to heal. King is going to die here. And I'm going to try and tag in Hellboy at some point, but yeah, he's dead. This fight is going to be over. And the damage registered, we got 13 million. Decent, but it could have gone much better. And in the next fight there's something very interesting that I notice, which is the fact that the bug can happen when fighting Boss the Joker. Boss the Joker being Batman Ninja Boss the Joker, let's say. Because in this one I do exactly the same thing, and as you have seen in the last one, I told you that my theory is that the bug occurs when your King of Lands Aquaman is the last character that is to die in that specific fight. And over here the same thing will happen as it happened in the first fight. Kiltan's Aquaman will die the last, but this time around the damage will not register, so I'm not really sure. Maybe that bug doesn't happen every time. Maybe I didn't predict it right, maybe it's something else, but so far, at least when fighting Black Manta, each time King of Atlantis Aquaman was the only one left alive, and he was the one to die last, this bug happened. So I'm not sure what triggered it over here, but yeah, it's basically the exact same strategy, just keep him in the corner, using special trees, keeping up the damage. And goddammit, I hope they fix the bug sooner, because I can't take it anymore. Like, so much damage unregistered. If all my peeps were registered, by now I wouldn't have finished Darkseid, but I would be hitting Darkseid. It's going to take some damage. Over here my tagging was pretty bad, but Hellboy is going to be fine for the time being. The only problem with the lethal attack chance that he has is that his abilities are going to deal damage through block also. Hellboy yet again in, he's healing from the dot on the ground. Over here my bad, I didn't block for long enough because I'm not really familiar yet with all the mechanics of Joker, because I don't fight that specific character very often in the arena, because not many teams have him. And over here I think Hellboy is going to eventually die. And looking at this and thinking about this, maybe you could actually use Shazam instead of Dr. Fate. That might also yield some decent results. So I will test that out myself when the peeps refresh. Let me know if you test that out, if this works better with Shazam, but we'll see about it. Over here, Kiltan Sakuma is going to be yet again the last one alive. And the thing that I did this time and I didn't do last time was the super move, so the super move might also be a problem when it comes to unusual gameplay. So yeah, basically this is the strategy explained. Very short version. Take him all the way to the right corner and pound him over there while using Hellboy as a tank. This was everything for this one. I hope you found this helpful. Thank you very much for watching. Like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, comment down for any questions that you might have. Maybe subscribe for more content like this, maybe hit that bell button, and I'll see you in the next one.